I found. Diamonds! So how do you get diamonds when you know right underneath of them is lava? Ooh, look, there's another one. Nice. Nice! So how do I get to these? How do I get to these diamonds? Here's what you do. Put a few blocks down, except for leave one open. Okay? Here I'm leaving two open, but leave one open. And then you take a bucket of water, put it in there. Leave the water in there as you're mining. And watch what happens. When I mine the diamond... No!
Epic fail.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to happen. Too much lava that time. I didn't know it was over here. Doggone it, I lost the diamond and my water. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to make a puddle of water and then mine around it. And that's exactly what I was doing up here with this obsidian. So endeth the lesson. I also started making some lapis lamps. These are from the mod random things. And basically, rather than putting torches down and having torches sticking around, anywhere that I need a lamp, I'm going to put a lapis lamp. So it doesn't look like this. It looks like that. It's not quite as clean and organized, but I think it's okay. I may try some more different... There's a whole bunch of different kinds of lamps that I have installed with all these mods. Check the links below to see what mods I have installed. Hey everybody, I just wanted to give you a quick peek at how I had my setup without any walls around it. As you can see, I went through and used the filler to clear this back wall. I'm going to go a little bit deeper and also make glass along this side. Then I'm going to move these machines toward that back wall. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger setup. Well, I wanted to show you the whole setup, how I had it, and how it worked. Basically, we've got solar panels up top that are bringing in power and powering the CESU. We switched to that from the bat box. The reason I kept the back box up here is just to quickly charge, throw an item in, charge it up, and then we'd be good to go. As you remember, the wall was right here, so that way I didn't have to go into this back room. I had a door set up here so that all this was in the back room and you really couldn't see it, and basically this front facing part was all wall, if you remember. So we also had the macerators that had wooden transport pipes that pulled down items into the electric furnace. Gives us a quick way to process ores like so. You throw something into the macerator, turn on this switch, this engine turns on, which pulls any macerated material out and turns it into an ingot. Pretty easy setup to do, and it's quick enough where you can do it, leave it alone and go do something else, and when you come back you've got ingots waiting. Now I also started making thermal expansion items, and I threw them on top of my tools that I really didn't use from Industrial Craft. Metal form. Well, I use the metal former when building a lot of stuff, but they don't get much use now that all the things are built, although they will in the future here. The extractor actually takes the rubber and makes it into rubber to make more wiring and stuff. So, you know, these two machines were getting heavy use in the beginning, but now they're kind of just sitting idly by. So I made a pulverizer and I made a furnace. I'm probably going to set these up just like I have over here, where we have the pulverizer on top, furnace on the bottom with a tube between them. In the back here you can see I started making some thermal expansion stuff. I made myself a leadstone energy cell that I can carry around with me to power any kind of tools that I bring with me, and I also went down to the, where that lava pool was, made some open blocks tanks, which are phenomenal, and I used them to bring up some lava so that I could feed my magmatic dynamo, which powers all these machines plus charges up my battery thing here. So I made myself a little switch with a redstone engine to pump the fluid out of the tank and into the magmatic dynamo. Pretty easy little setup. And we also had our logistics pipes. Now I made myself a little basement room over here. I started setting up a packager so that I could start making compressed cobblestone. Basically what I want to do is pull the cobblestone out of the chest into the packager so that it makes compressed cobblestone. And then I want to round robin it. If it's compressed, I want to store it in a chest. And when all the cobblestone's done, I want it to pull out the compressed ones and feed them back in here so that we can get double and triple compressed. I've built this system before in my last set of videos, so you can probably go back to those and refer back. I've got a nice little setup there. And the logistics pipes over here, we're pulling, if you remember, coal out of one of the chests and feeding it to the generator when we were using the generator more. So that's basically it. That was my early game setup that I had going. And it's pretty much served me well. So, as you can see, it's night out. So, I'm going to go to sleep, and in the morning, hopefully, we'll be able to clear out the rest of this, get some more glass up, and get those machines moved. Hey, real quick, I wanted to show you how I was going to process this cobblestone with the packager. I've got a bunch of cobblestone I'm going to throw up into the chest here, and basically you can see I've got an extractor module set up so that it's pulling everything out of this chest, and then down here on this normal logistics pipe I put request items cobblestone, and it's pulling it out and saying, hey, cobblestone goes right there. So now it's feeding it in here and it is compressing the cobblestone. So my goal is to I want to check my email quick. My goal is to take all that cobblestone and feed it into the compressor and then pull it out and put it back into this chest with this set to compressed cobblestone and double compress it, and then if I can triple compress it. And when I make the move to move all these machines over to the other side, basically when I go into the cobblestone chest, it's just going to have a couple, maybe even 2 or 3 of the triple compressed cobblestone. So we'll see what happens. That way I don't have to carry a bunch of cobblestone from one place to another. We'll just compress it and then uncompress it as we need to, if we need to. So there it is, the packager from Factorization. I love it. And the final tally is 6 cobblestone, 6 compressed cobblestone, 2 double compressed, and 2 triple compressed. So I compressed all those. I mean, that was pretty much my whole inventory worth of cobblestone, and I compressed it down to 4 squares. So I finally figured out how to get this turning table working so that I can make my diamond drill, my mining drill. You have to make what's called an electric kinetic generator. On the forum it actually says that it produces, it needs power, this turning table needs power in KU rather than EU. So what I did was I made a few motors, because it says add motors to increase the KU output, and then you put the motors into this kinetic generator, which you have to build, and then I built the electric one because I've got mucho power. Okay, you connect it to your power, and then in the front it's got a turbine that turns the turning table. Now what you do is you stick your turning blank in there, and then your lathing tool, and when you click one of these it actually grinds it down. So you need to know the formula for the drill, and let me go back here to the forum, and it's 4-5 3-5 2-5 2-5 2-5, according to what they say on the forum here. So I'm assuming that that means that when I pull this off of here, it's done. Oh, that made it for handle. So what I need is the drill. As you can see, it says iron turning blank handle. Now I need, Oh, and it gives you a pile of iron dust. Now I need to create another one of these turning planks and find out the recipe for the drill. Oh, okay. 5 5 4 5 3 5 2 5 1 5. So basically, it's the opposite of what I just did. In other words, I made this 4 5 3 5 2 5 all the way across. That's a handle. I see. So what I need to do is make a turning blank, and then make it 5 5 4 5 3 5 2 5 1 5. So it goes all the way down to a point. It makes sense. Actually makes sense. But that is how you get it to work. So let's make another turning blank. I might as well do it now. Let's see. Turning blank. Okay. Oh, and you can make a wooden one too, huh? So you can do wooden things. As a matter of fact, one of the people on the forum said that they used it to make a stick. That's all it basically does, is make a stick when you grind it down to 1-1. Okay, so I need an iron ingot, an iron item casing. So I need 2 iron ingots and an item casing. So let me see if I have it. Yeah, I got some plates at least. So let me throw these in here. It was 1, right? Yeah, I want to make 2, just so I have a backup. Actually, this will make 2. Okay. Oh no, I need 2, so I need to make 1 more. 1 more set. So, boom, boom, and in the middle. Isn't that what it said? Oh no, it's the other way around. I had it backwards. Oh well. So we can do this. Now I can make 2. And they don't stack. So they do not stack. Okay. So let's see here. Boy, there's not much information about this. This is pretty brand new, but I like it. I actually think it's pretty cool. So it looks like your lathing tool will eventually wear down. You're gonna have to build another one of those. That's my one that I made for my handle. Let's see if I can make one for the drill now. So it's 5 5 and then 4 5 3 5 2 5. Every time you click this, it's grinding it down. So you can't go back either, because it is grinding it down. I've got my sound turned down, but I bet you it's making a whirring noise as we speak. 5 5 4 5 3 5 2 5 1 5. Boom. Drill. And you can see that it's labeled drill. That's awesome. Alright. Now, my last mining excursion, I just went down and mined for a long time, and I actually came up with 22 total diamonds. Beautiful. So, let's see. How do drill, diamond drill. So I need that turning blank to be put in there, and then I just need to surround that with the diamonds. Got it. So diamond, diamond, diamond. Got plenty to spare. That's my blank. Here's my drill, and then I put my mining drill in there. Yes, diamond mining drill. Awesome. So that is how you use this turning table. And it really is a lathe. That's basically what it is. I don't know why they just don't call it the lathe. You put a tool on there. This is a cutting tool that a normal lathe would actually use. You've probably seen them on the Discovery Channel or something, where they have how was it made. They'll take this blade. It's basically a sharpened metal blade that's hardened steel, and they put it into a softer metal, and it cuts it. And they use computers to do it in a precise way. They need precision movements in order to make something completely smooth, completely sharp, stuff like that. So that's basically what this is, a lathing tool, which, it's the item spins inside of here on like a tube almost, that spins at a high rate of speed, and they press this tool against it and it cuts the metal. So you guys probably know what I'm talking about. So that's how you use it. Now I've got my diamond drill. I can go down and find 22 more diamonds. I doubt I'm ever going to find 22 in one trip. Actually, it wasn't 22, because I did have about 4 or 5 that I had found previously. But that was one of the best trips I've ever had for diamonds, down here next to the next to the lava. Hey, so I'm using my Buildcraft filler to clear space over here. And I'm standing here getting ready to go back over to my little setup over there, and I noticed that right over here, right around in this area between all of these lapis lamps that I had in the ground, two creepers just spawned out of nowhere. And I thought to myself, what in the world is going on? And I looked it up, and it appears that lapis lamps do not turn on until a player is around them. Interesting, interesting. So all these lapis lamps that I had around in here were never on if I wasn't around, which is kind of strange that I didn't have more creatures in the house here. But I do have some, as you can see over there, I do have some torches still up around the edge of the window. So maybe that prevented it, I'm not sure, but I just hit F7 and turned on the where can things spawn routine, where it brings it up as yellow is possibly. So let me see. Where's a good spot here? Let's get rid of that. Yeah, yellow is possibly where something can spawn, and red is definitely something can spawn there. So I went around and dug up all these lapis lamps. Now I'm going to have to come up with a new light solution for the floor. Maybe I'll go back to mariculture. That's what I was using before. But those blocks made a lot of lag, if I remember correctly. Because you had to put so many down to light up an area. I'd love to find a recipe for a wrath lamp or something like that that will allow me to light up a really big area. So I'll have to take a look around, but keep that in mind about lapis lamps. They do not... Uh-oh, the blood moon's rising. They do not light up an area until a player is nearby. And only then will they light up and cause things not to spawn. Hey everybody, quick update. So I've gone lava. Gone full lava. You never go full lava. Basically what I've done here is I made some open block tanks, as you know from before, and set them down here, and I have placed in the nether now an ender tank, just like this one. Now place down your ender tank and turn it on, and it pumps from the nether up into these blocks. And I've gone lava power, so I've got a magnetic dynamo over here that runs off of lava to give me power and RF for my thermal expansion machines. For my industrial craft machines, I took my generator that I had. Let me close this up here. I went down and tore up all of my piping for coal coming out of these copper chests, going over to my generator. I built 2 more generators, and now I've got 3 geothermal generators to power these machines. I'm going to build a few more IC2 machines, so I wanted a little more power. And basically, a regular generator gives you 10 EU per tick, whereas a geothermal generator gives me 20 EU per tick. Now I've got a few solar panels up on the roof, but they only give 1, I think, EU per tick. So they don't do much. That's basically a beginning game, but I'm going to keep them hooked up just to supplement the power. Might as well. Eventually what I'll do is set them into an array, and then we will get into that later, but that'll give me a little bit more power. But now, instead of just 10, I'm getting 20, 40, 60 EU per tick of power going into my CESU. So this should stay powered all the time now. My machine should have no problem running, and the new machines that I have built should have no problem running. Now, here's the big thing. You've got to keep these things filled. So what I do is, I put a couple of redstone engines down with an emerald fluid pipe. This is, emerald fluid pipes are extractor pipes. So, with BC, what you can do is turn this on and boom, pumps lava into your machines. If the machine is full, then the lava's got nowhere to go, so it's just going to kind of run back and forth. So basically what's going to happen is these pipes are going to keep trying to fill these machines. Now that I've pumped a little bit in there, it'll stay in the pipe until it goes in. Same thing over here. Emerald with a couple of stone fluid pipes to go into my magnetic dynamo. Constantly gives me power. Now if I come up and I find that I'm out of power on these machines, it's because I don't have any lava left in these. So basically I just flip the switch, get some lava out of this tank, and we're good to go again. Nice little system to keep myself powered. So here we have the first two levels of the base, the mountain base, built into the mountain. And just so you know, I'm a blaze. That's how I'm flying around. Thank you, Morph, for allowing me to be a blaze. So I'm not going to go all the way through the mountain like I did the last time. I'm just going to go up to the point where the mountain hit this flat part of this mountain. So I'm basically going to take up the curved part of this little jut out here of the mountain. And that's about as far as I'm going to go. I'm not going to go any further than this on either side. I think that's plenty of space. The last time that I did it, I emptied out an entire mountain, and it was just too much. It was too much for the server to handle. It was too much. Well, I don't really have a server. I'm running this on my own machine. So if it gets out of control and starts to really bog down because my machine just can't handle what's going on, then I'll switch to a server. I've got a pretty big server that I can throw it on and use to play here at the house. So there we are with the first two levels. Now basically what I've got to do is move the machines up here. This is going to be my machining level. I'll have a little spot underneath for tubes and stuff, and also above for tubes and stuff. And then up here is going to be processing. So I'm going to have AE2 up here, and then all the way at the top is going to be my living quarters. So we're pretty good. We're moving along pretty well. Basically I've just got to finish clearing this out in here. I want to try to figure out some kind of a new light source. I want to make a few more machines. I want to go into a couple more mods for processing, and then I think we should be good. So just like with cobblestone, you can compress dirt using this packager. Same exact thing, takes 8, makes it into a compressed dirt block. Saves you a lot of time if you have a lot of dirt in your inventory and you want to conserve blocks and conserve storage space. This is the way to go. Eases up processing power too, because all of these dirt tiles only take up 1 block. So just like before, you can 3, 1, 3. Ooh, that's weird. That's a different dirt block. They're both Minecraft. Anyway, that's weird. It won't let me actually compress that one. So once you get a stack, then you can actually go in. Well, you don't need to get a stack, but once you get 9 of these, and I'll show you in a sec, then you can double compress it, triple compress it. So there we go. Now I'm left with 3 regular dirt blocks, and now I'll double compress this. Extra Utilities is an amazing mod. It's got a lot of neat stuff. This is only one of the things that we're actually going to do. So now I've got 2 of the regular dirt, actually more than that, but I don't know what's going on with that. And then 4 of the compressed dirt and 8 of the double compressed, which gives me 81 pieces of dirt in one thing, in one little block. So it's pretty cool. And as you can see, I did that with cobblestone too. So in this block, in this one block, I've got 729 cobblestone. if I ever need stone to fill in a spot, I can come back in here, take one of these over to my crafting table, put one of these blocks in, and it's going to give me 9 double, and keep going, and basically uncompress them if I need to. Love that mod. As you can see, I'm getting ready to move my machines. I wonder if you can compress gravel. Hey, look at that. Compressed gravel. Awesome. I'm going to do this too. Compress those down. Eventually I might need this. Let's say I want to make cement or something else, some other mod that uses gravel in one of their recipes for something. I'll have it. And once we get into energistics, it's not gonna really matter because everything will be stored on a hard drive. But even storing on a hard drive, you have limited space and limited blocks. So compressing things before you put them on a hard drive really helps you save space in your AE setup. So that is the goal. As little space as possible. So I like this. I'm going to keep on compressing these things down to as much as I can. See what else I can compress. And then I'll start moving my machines. Hey, it's D, and I'm back. I wanted to give you a quick update on what's going on up in my second floor here, my machine room, as it were. Basically, I set up all my storage. I've got a little area over here for like things that I collected from mobs, armor, weapons, tools I'll use outside, things like that. So we've got a little storage area there. I've also set up a bunch of barrels that I'm going to fill with things that we're going to get a ton of, like when we start mining downstairs, like quartz and probably copper. I don't know. We'll see. And then all these storage chests along here have a specific function. Each one has a different type of item in it. And I start with coal. I have a system that I follow, so I know generally where things are. I start with coal and plants, trees, then food, then diamonds, jewels, things like that, crystals, powders, and then unprocessed ores, redstone, and I keep redstone and ingots right next to my crafting tables for when I need to craft some stuff. And then I start going into the mods. IC2 I keep closest to me because I'm going to use most of those tools, thermal expansion all the way down. And then at the very end I have dirt, stone, cobblestone, marble, things like that. Generally earth items. And as you can see, I got the packager down there so I can keep it nice and clean as far as keeping these boxes or these storage chests empty. I started filling in some machines because I needed to burn some stuff. So let me show you exactly how I have my power set up. I've got a big open blocks lava tank here that's going to be basically my storage. And then what happens is, behind all my machines here, I've got my ender tank. Now the partner to this ender tank is down in the nether, pumping up lava, which I am filling these tanks with. And I've got a switch on the other side of this block, the stone block. And I put some red alloy wire here. You can look up the recipe for red alloy wire. It's part of Project Red, which is basically the rebirth of Red Power 2. And that wire allows me to make it so that I can flip this switch, or actually the middle one, flip the switch, and that pump will start. So when I flip this, a lot of people don't realize that when you flip it, the ender tank here will spin. Let me see if I can get it to do this here. There it is. The ender tank will spin and turn on or off based on a redstone signal. So this wire, when I flip that middle switch, I'll show you, will activate, put on a redstone signal, and you can see that it's lit up. This turns and actually starts pumping. Same exact thing with either side for lava pulling out of that tank, that storage tank. I've got this switch over here giving a redstone signal to this redstone engine, which turns on, which in turn pulls using this emerald fluid pipe into these geothermal generators. So when I flip this switch, that engine turns on and starts pumping. Same exact thing over here. Got another redstone engine back there, emerald fluid pipe going into these dynamos. Same exact thing. As a matter of fact, you can get a really good view. That's all it takes is this block has to connect to this block, and since this block is facing that, boom. Technically that would take the place of the block above the redstone engine. That redstone signal gets transmitted to that and it starts it up. Pretty nifty little setup. Now as far as my wiring goes, or my power conduits, I've got these energy conduits since thermal expansion still hasn't put any kind of wiring in, I don't believe, or tubes or anything. So I run these Ender IO energy conduits under the ground, and then over here it just makes it look a little neater, gives me a nice place where I can walk through. Same thing with these IC2 copper cables. I basically run the generators into the CESU. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I run the generators into the CESU. I'm confusing myself. And then I run the CESU out for the machines to power off of. Now, why is that? Well, these only output 20 ticks, 20 EUs per tick, whereas this gives off 128 per tick. So this will provide a lot more power for the machines out there than just wiring up a series of these directly. Two or three of these will keep this charged, and then I don't have to have a wall of these generators to power all those machines. Works a little better, and eventually this will become a higher tier so that it gives off more than this 128. So that's it. All I have to do now is fill in my machines based on how I'm going to use them. I'm going to have to build some more thermal expansion machines, get this wall filled in so that I can start processing, and then I'm going to have to build a sorting system using logistics pipes. So that's coming up.